In the half-ton segment, Ford and Ram have been eating GM's lunch for a few years now. Sales were slipping, the fan base scattering. The Silverado and Sierra had a rough stretch, and their reputation took a real hit. But that's about to flip, and soon. General Motors isn't sitting around waiting any longer. The competition has no intention of slowing down, so they had to step on the gas too. The all-new 2027 Silverado 1500 is their ticket back to the top of the segment. A lot of the details are already out there, and there are some pretty confident speculations floating around as well. Overall, what we're seeing is compelling. So if you've been on the fence about your next truck purchase, or you've been loyal to another brand but curious, stick around. We've got 4 big reasons why the 2027 Silverado might just be worth the wait. Join us as we explore the world of wheels. Subscribe now and buckle up for the adventure. Number 1. New powertrains. This is probably the biggest reason to wait for the 2027 model, and it's long overdue. The current Silverado's biggest Achilles heel has always been under the hood. DFM issues, transmission gremlins, and a long list of reliability complaints. All of it has been quietly killing the reputation of both the Silverado and the Sierra for years now. But instead of patching it, Mary Barra decided to turn a whole new page. GM is investing $888 million into the plants where next-gen V8 engines will be built, from the ground up. And there's also something that matters a lot to half-ton truck buyers. GM's sticking with big displacement. 2 new units are in development, a 5.7 and a 6.6 liter. Official specs haven't been revealed yet, but leaked info is already pointing to the most potent configuration pushing around 500 horsepower. Maybe here's the most important part of this whole story. GM is dropping DFM entirely. No patch. No revision. Gone. That system caused so many headaches that even if they fixed it perfectly, the baggage alone would keep people away. Killing it outright is the right call. This might be the most significant decision Mary Barra has made since taking the wheel at GM. Number 2. Redesign and interior. The current Silverado is wrapping up an 8-year generation cycle, but that's not really the main reason GM is launching an all-new truck. Generation cycles can stretch. They can get facelifts, mid-cycle refreshes, carryovers. That's not what's happening here. General Motors wants to make a statement. The current design isn't exactly outdated, but the truck world has shifted, and they want to stay ahead of the curve rather than chase it. Spy photos are already circulating, and even under heavy camo, there are some details you can pick out. New lighting signatures, quad exhaust tips, and noticeably bigger wheel arches. It's early, but the direction is clear. Bolder, more aggressive. Then there's the interior. Test mules have given us a peek inside the cabin, but prototypes aren't showing too much yet. Still, even a heavily covered dashboard tells a story, and this one is pointing to a serious overhaul. From what's out there, the 2027 Silverado is expected to get a dual-screen setup for the infotainment and gauge cluster. And the big headline is that the GM is completely replacing Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with Ultifi, their in-house platform that's been quietly developing into something ambitious. The carmaker is going all in on its own ecosystem. It delivers over-the-air updates, cloud connectivity, and a growing library of apps and services. On top of that, GM is integrating Google's Gemini-powered conversational AI, which should make the voice assistant feel far less like talking to a robot. A fresh body and a modern brain, not a bad combo. Number 3. Bringing it home. This one might not grab headlines the same way a new V8 or a fresh redesign does, but don't sleep on it, because it solves some everyday problems. The 2027 Silverado is going to be a much more American, not just the engine, the whole thing. And a big part of that shift comes down to the current trade environment. You can agree or disagree with President Trump's tariff policies, but the reality is that those taxes are pushing automakers to rethink their supply chains fast, and GM is moving with it. Here's the thing, the company took a lot of heat for leaning heavily on Chinese-sourced components. That criticism wasn't just political noise. Those parts had a real reputation for breaking down. And when they did, the supply chain problem became your problem. Waiting weeks for a replacement part because it has to cross an ocean first isn't just frustrating. It's a truck sitting in a shop instead of doing its job. Bringing production stateside changes that equation. A shorter supply chain means parts move faster. Faster parts mean quicker repairs. And building everything closer to home generally means tighter quality control at every step of the process. Less room for corners to get cut quietly somewhere on the other side of the world. Like I said, compared to a brand new engine and a bold redesign, this might sound like a background detail, but for anyone who's ever had their truck sidelined waiting on a back-ordered part, it's anything but small. Number 4. Perfect timing. Sometimes winning isn't just about what you bring to the table, it's also about when you show up. The half-ton segment right now is in an interesting spot. The competition isn't exactly firing on all cylinders. Ram is carried over. Toyota built one of the most respected reputations in the truck world over decades. And the third-generation Tundra basically torched a big chunk of it. Then there's Ford. The F-150 is still king in terms of sales, but the crown is getting a little dusty. The redesign is not arriving until 2028. That means buyers eyeing a fresh Ford are going to be sitting on their hands for a while, or settling for something else. So when the 2027 Silverado drops with brand new platform, new engine, new face, updated tech, it's walking into a segment where its two biggest rivals are either dealing with serious trust issues or running aging sheet metal. That's not a coincidence. That's a window, and GM knows it. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you next time.